And we are live! Hi everyone! Hi Void! Nah, it's okay. If I sound a bit tired today, my apologies. But I've been very busy lately. But I still find time to go into this courthouse and stream once more. But I do want to play other games in the future if this one is done. But there's still a half of June left. Well, I've started this, I've gotta finish it. And hey, today we're gonna start the Cosmic Turnabout, which is the fourth case. Let's see how that results in something, shall we? If I can open the game properly. The chat's been barren lately. But can't blame anyone. Not even me. Blame Twitch and their stupid algorithm. Okay. So let's begin, shall we? I think everything's in order. The mic is on, at least. And in the right direction. Yeah, let's start. Cosmic Turnabout. There we go. Let's see what this brings, shall we? I have a feeling it will not be good. Hi. We're here again. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. Oh yeah, that dude. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. Sorts? Oh, right, we caught the killer. But that's not the whole story, was it? Tatonate was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow, I can't help but think. There's something else. That there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. Okay! After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. Ah. The Cosmic Turnabout. Let's see what this brings, shall we? Ugh, bot. Let's just ban you.
One hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay.
Okay.
We're ready here whenever you are.
Oh my god!
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Oh no. Oh! They survived! At least partially. Hopefully. Oh no. One of them died. Oh gosh. This is not good. Okay. So that's the setup of it. December 16, 9:12 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different. Apollo? Sorry to bother you, but... Is that Juniper? Oh, you're all right, Apollo? Was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my Quartz of Steel exercises. No, you were brooding, Apollo. Now I'm all ready to go. Yes, knowing you, I'm sure you would be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present for my garden. Ah, is this a lotus root? That's right. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's for the good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now. What? Raw? Apollo? Oh my! Kinda tough, though. You can't eat it raw, but... Thank you for the enthusiastic try. Aww. She really likes him. Oops, if she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I've gotta calm down. Paulo! I'm sorry I'm late! Hi, Athena. Hi, Athena. Judy! I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it, you sly little thing, you. Athena, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, Apollo. When will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. That was a sigh? Oh, this is our defendant. This is it. It's all over for me. This feels like deja vu for some reason. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client, one Mr. Solomon Sol Starbuck. Okay. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. I'm thinking about something. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. Okay. Maybe it's because of someone dead. Maybe because there was someone dead next to him when he was found. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Wait, I'm now just realizing, are we gonna start with a trial right away? That's new. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel, and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Aww. Back in those days, huh? Are you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now. Stop! My throat! Why does fake sighing just have so much damage for my throat? Maybe I'm just not in the best of shapes today. That's better. Okay. So depressed, it almost seems like an act. Is this like the second game scenario? Maybe? That he is guilty? The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that! Don't stop believing! Hold on to the feeling! Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell. Clay Terran, I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. Aww. No one loved life as much as him. That's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." No! Is this Apollo's childhood friend? Oh no! How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? Never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Why aren't you down, Apollo? Your best friend is dead. Clay's gone. And I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. What is it? What's with the yelling? His face. I'll get to the bottom of this today. You'll see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh, well, about that, I don't have anything. Oh, God. Okay, we only have the autopsy report. Cause of death is stabbing. The victim was discovered in the 3rd floor boarding lounge in the main building. I don't even have a map. Where is that? This is going to start off great, isn't it? We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd have liked, thanks to the police. I'm done for. I'm a goner. I mean, realistic reaction. Everybody thinks I did it. Though I thought I was gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've got to keep going. What about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? Finally! They brought it up. We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you all ready to go? Whoa, Apollo's resilient. Apollo? The trial is about to begin. If the defense would please proceed into the courtroom. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay. His name was Clay, right? Okay. Yeah, for Clay's sake and our clients. I will find Clay's killer. Okay. That's good motivation. Instead of defending your best friend, we will find out who killed him. December 16, 9:55 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Oh, the courtroom is still intact. So, alright. Will the bombing happen at some point in this trial? Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Wait, why do you already have the eye patch? Huh?
Excuse me, Mr. Justice.
Yes, Your Honor?
What happened to your eye?
Yeah, what happened? Was the accident? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Okay, he does not want to bring that up.
Are you sure? I don't...
Wow, the judge shows concern. I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready.
He looks very distraught.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sty.
I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age.
He's in his angst arc. His depression arc. No. I think, I don't think Apollo was the dude meant for this case. Hi, Opal Phoenix. Welcome to the stream. Apollo is now, trying to find out who killed his best friend. He is, he looks like this.
Very well. And the prosecution.
Blackwell? Hi, Blackwell. Hope you're well. I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing fine as well. And Blackwell is doing fine too, I guess.
The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Oh, what? Wait, you're gonna break out of the cuffs already? My dude.
Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Oh,
Yeah. Ah! Well, ah! The first minute of the trial!
the prosecution. is now ready.
Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell? What's up with you, Apollo?
Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
Wait, what?
I'll do it.
What is up with this case? Everyone is acting so out of character.
You will. What an unexpected surprise. This time, I can't leave it to anyone else. I see.
Blackwell is in work mode indeed, for once.
Something is off with the two of you today.
Hi, Rosenthal. Welcome to the stream. Everyone is in their angsty phase.
You both seem different somehow.
Yeah.
Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you would.
How am I doing? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing fine as well.
It was just yesterday.
Space Center.
The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Ah, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right?
Astronomy.
It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. My word, 2 bombs. How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck, I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct, your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the HAT-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right?
Cool poster.
They even turned that into a movie and everything. We've got a real space pioneering corps today. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Terran, a subordinate of the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death was the result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see.
That is such a cool quote, actually.
Clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point.
How's the gaming? As you can see, I'm busy with dual Destinies at the moment. You're playing the Ace Attorney Chronicles already. The great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Wow, you've gotten far already. Hope you've been enjoying it. Don't spoil anything for me, please. I want to play it sometime too. Probably like next year. There's so many other things planned. Anyway, let's start this case.
However, there is one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. What purpose does it serve, exactly?
There's a bomb in there, Your Honor.
Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin.
What? Ah!
Have mercy on me!
I think I need to run as well. Like, oh God, please let me run away. I can't. No. Like, it's probably a joke.
It's evidence.
You miss Blackwell. I love Blackwell, actually. He's actually becoming a contender for my favorite prosecutor. And he's giving Edgeworth a run for his money, I'm telling you.
Due to its immense size, we have little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time. Alright? Whew, I feel like I just lost 50 years of my life.
Does he even have 50 years left?
Athena! Inner monologue, Athena! Inner monologue! Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust. Aye, hi cousin! Detective Fulbright. Very well done. Please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would. On it. Take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Okay, let me see. Here we are. Okay, 6 floors in the basement, a launchpad 1 and a space museum. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of the building. Okay. Take a look at this cross-section that the police have created.
Okay.
Upper level with a ladder, middle level, elevator, lower level, launchpad corridor to the lounge. See the launchpad and the main building. The launchpad is in the square building, and the rounded structure is the main building, right? You got it! The incident took place in launchpad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during the testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Cross-section view of the main building. Okay, that helps. Okay, cousin, give us the deets. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! One on the 2nd floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in Launchpad 1.
Wait, why was there a bomb there?
Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death.
This case is a twister. I am very curious.
A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yup. Thinking he'd sabotaged the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo.
Oh god, why does Apollo have to see that? Apollo doesn't deserve to see that.
Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor, it's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. We couldn't get any prints of it though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit.
Okay, utility knife. I didn't see the description though.
By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor.
At least he only has to close one eye to avoid seeing it. Okay. That's actually... I don't know what to say to that.
I personally removed his glove during the investigation.
I can't help it. I love this pose.
We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case.
I have a feeling it will be related to the case, sir.
I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the 2nd floor.
Even his thinking pose! He's really on edge!
But where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located? That one was on the rocket itself! It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the Launchpad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report into court record.
Explosives sparked a fire on the 2nd floor of the main building and the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. The trials just started and we're already in a bind. Get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing.
That'll be the key. Okay. Let's see. Details of the case. Because I have nothing, I'm inclined to press every statement. That's probably the best choice.
Hold it!
How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, you were there at the time? Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? Yeah. Ha ha ha! I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there whenever people need my help. I'd go to the other side of the world, or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What did he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators and the 3rd floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup. How did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center.
Emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram.
Yeah, that's the basement level.
The Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter.
Bombs went off despite tight security. Police officers and riot police who had been standing by gave the evacuation instructions.
The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. Guess I'll leave that aside for now.
So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right.
One on the 2nd floor of the Space Center's main building and one in Launchpad 1.
Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives. Huh? What are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
He did.
Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia.
What? Fear of space? Astrophobia? What's that?
A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute.
He didn't come across that way when we talked to him, though. That's absurd!
Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these.
What are they?
These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently, he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he goes so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The ways of a murderer.
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name. Now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him Soul Starbuck, Space Pioneer Extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt.
What? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing?
Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation.
This does not make sense! Ugh!
Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal.
Okay. Why were only they in Launchpad 1? Are you sure it was only the two of them?
It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two.
Ugh. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket.
Silence.
This is an open and shut case, like, it seems.
The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the launch with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And there is a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday. Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28. Doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts.
He has a point. I guess the director can be considered a suspect then. Biometric door lock operated by fingerprint recognition. Only the defendant, the victim, and the Space Center director had access. Okay. Two of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. So they went through the door. So while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct?
You got it! In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time! If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing.
Is there any chance Mr. Charon could have been killed before he boarded the rocket?
They were both alive and well at boarding time, and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space.
And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed.
If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
Okay.
Hold it.
And who was the first to find the victim?
Actually, there were 2 of them.
The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm.
Oh no! We lost a witness to this case?
Oh no!
One of them was a detective. Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant.
2 witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. Doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me.
I think that pretty much covers the details of the case.
Okay, I now have more evidence.
Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime.
What little I could get out of him only hurt my case.
Justice, Dono. Foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this.
What is it?
Footage from a security camera as the 2 astronauts emerge from the bowels of the Launchpad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now, I will direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering. Which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim.
But I don't see a knife sticking out of him. What? What? Why does Apollo? You shouldn't have to do this case. I know you want to find Clay's killer, but you could have asked Phoenix or Athena to do it for you. I mean... anyway.
Order! Order, I say! This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting.
I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Video showing the defendant and victim's escape from the corridor to the boarding lounge. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Yeah, I don't see a knife. I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at this point is pretty crucial.
Your Honor, please take another look at the footage.
Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him?
Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
The power of friendship.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead in a dotard.
Blackwell!
It'll only make sense if it's the victim's dead body.
What do you mean?
Fulbright, explain it to Justice Donald.
You got it! Ready, kid?
If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while we were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
And that's what we have to prove today, I think.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based in your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic.
It sounded perfectly logical to me.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close.
Objections? Well,
Hold it!
Yeah, no. Athena will help out, quickly. Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup.
Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need.
What is it, Athena?
It's just, there's something that's been bothering me.
If it is the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well. I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time.
Yes!
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds?!
After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed, and the verdict to be rendered. Your baldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Ah. Oh! Ready?
Oh God! We don't have time! Spit it out, Athena!
Only 3 more seconds!
Ah! Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning? Meaning there's something missing. Like, they conveniently left it unexplained.
Something they didn't explain.
Something they didn't explain. You're right! I think I know what you're talking about. That was longer than 5 seconds.
Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice.
I don't think the judge can count to 5.
Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court.
Well, if you put it that way, what is it that the prosecution has failed to explain?
Why the body was moved. They had an explanation for the motive. They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge?
Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet.
It's because they have none, Your Honor.
After all, how does one explain something so illogical?
Yeah, how do you explain that, Blackwell?
Prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body.
But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong?
Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice.
The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him. Ah! Well, he already had the sword out.
Fulbright. Explaining for a sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly of why Space Boy moved the victim. Huh?
Gotta be joking.
It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner.
You came with that on the spot, didn't you, cousin?
That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man.
Ah. So that's the reason. That's the angle they're going for.
The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds.
200 pounds?
Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Third?
Objection!
What? What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence.
What?
Indeed, you are correct. Oh, there was a bomb that didn't go off. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand. That will be a bomb transport case. We used that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy.
What?
One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated. For had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
So he planned the third to erase all evidence, but it didn't work. Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me.
Ugh. He's reading my mind.
As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch.
You found what? Oh my god, this killer thought of everything!
I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder. So he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is.
No! Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. He does not accept that argument. Ah! Whoa! Apollo! Holy crap!
Justice Dawn. Open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions.
This is not... This is horrible! Wait a second! Well, Apollo's dead. Game over.
We now roll the credits. The case has not been solved. Salmon is declared guilty. Bad ending time.
But I just realized that detonation switch. It looked like the missing one from the first case. So, wait. If Tony didn't set off, did the real killer set off the bomb? Wait, I'm confused. I am so confused. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth.
Still can't accept it. You believe in your client, come what may. Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself?
This has got to be a trap. Of course it is. It's like Blackwell's controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seems like he was waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. To really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then make you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him.
Now, let's hear from the arch-villain. The fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck.
He looks so resigned to his fate.
Witness, your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no, it's not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terra. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take the suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
No, he doesn't allow you to.
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins.
Oh my gosh, Blackwell, what?
Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life.
Why is he so vindictive? I mean, it's not the first time he was.
Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore.
Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? You haven't done the DLC case yet, right? No, I haven't. I was deliberating on doing it, but I was very tight on time last week, so I couldn't, unfortunately. So I will have to do it after we finish the final case. He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. Okay, witness testimony. I didn't kill him. Okay. At least he now seems determined.
All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him.
That's fine. I was just wondering. It's the best case in this game. Yeah, it looks fun.
So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony.
I'm sure you don't believe me. Actually, fun fact, I am just genuinely yawning when this happens.
I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut.
I don't think the judge doubts that. Let's wear a suit like that, except an astronaut.
I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy.
I guess I'm just a big disappointment.
I don't really care what happens anymore.
Oh my gosh, this poor man. Oh no, he's completely given up.
Wait, that wasn't Solomon yawning? What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates.
Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago? Wait, that was Blackwell who was yawning? What? Huh? That was Blackwell sighing?
Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction.
Question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Okay. What is the glaring contradiction? I didn't kill him.
All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket.
Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for it. Let me check that real quick.
Is that the elevator inside the launch pad area? That's right. We always use it to get to and from the cockpit.
That makes sense, so he was just using the route he always used. In spite of the fact that there had just been an explosion?
Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big. Okay, yeah, there was an explosion there. Okay. I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. What does that contradict? I mean, that part exploded, dude! It's this, right?
Objection!
Yeah, it's that. That was obvious. Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right, which means... Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Ah! Mission Command! Mission Command! Do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
He's flustered. This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention! Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck! Ah! My helmet! Ah! Oh! Ah! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration, body temperature declining, requesting medical assistance! Ah! Man, that was quick to bring him down, sheesh! That was some impressive acting, I hope. I hope. Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Okay, so he was acting. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth.
I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut.
Yeah, I seem more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement? About how you used the middle level elevator. I, was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually, took a different route, I think. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time. Maybe? No, I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, accuracy is paramount in court. Okay. Accuracy is paramount. My escape route. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now, I took a different route. Maybe, probably. With the capsule of clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we can make our escape that way. In the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Terran here? Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is writing on your testimony. Maybe I'm guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. But it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Stop! Stop, Starbuck! We need accurate information. With the capsule and clay, my arms have made my way down from the upper level.
Hold it!
How? The upper level of the launch pad area. That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So to recap, you had Clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand? Yeah, it's really important. So I couldn't let it get burned up. So even though Clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him over one shoulder, and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet. You know what you have to do with that statement. Justice Dono. Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. It's time to present some evidence.
So Mr. Starbuck is saved with Clay and the capsule, which means... It's just like in the footage. I can see why he couldn't run, though.
Must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself.
Yeah, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus, he had to ensure the safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under those circumstances.
Walking straight forward is probably about all I would have been able to manage. Okay, so what about the last statement was off? Capsule and Clay in my arms. I'm weighing my way down to the upper level. What did he say? I did the best I could with him over one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't know. I mean... This one?
Objection!
No. Ah! Nope, that's wrong. Oh, no. Nope. I don't... That was wrong. I don't know. Is this the case where I go to jail? Hopefully not. Penalty for shameless attorney. Whatever. I don't know, it looks like backless turning the judge against me. With the capsule and Clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. I don't know. Only the Principal Director Cosmos, Starbuck, and Terran authorized an independent security company managed to use the trackers. Backup power allows it to function even when the power goes out. Attempts to use sprint recognition are also recorded via security camera. I did present this one, right? I don't know the contradiction of this one. Am I just gonna present evidence and hope for the best?
Objection!
Oh, it was that one. You're on the right track? Okay. Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue? No, that's not right. Oh, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's... Oh my gosh. The truth, Mr. Starbuck! The oxygen concentration is super low in this area! Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks! Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Okay, I am confused about this contradiction as well. Please explain to me, Mr. Justice. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Uh-huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route. Wait. Wait, what?
Why does a Starbucks escape route add up? I have no idea. I don't know, Apollo! The ladder? To get down from the upper to the middle level where the launch pad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbucks? Of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
No. But how would that work? At the time you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him over 200 pounds. Oh. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But you're still on Earth. But the space center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Ah! Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth, now! I don't think he knows the truth. Engineer, where's the engineer? Accidentally detected to the fault maintenance. Evacuate immediately! Ah, what the? He's flying the coop! Ah! Help! I'm caught on the ceiling! Help? Anyone? Oh my gosh. I can see, like, remains of a parachute on the ceiling. Oh my gosh. Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once.
Well, there's one way to take off all being questions.
I better prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real.
He can't explain.
Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that.
What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know.
A pure space boy is prone to deception. Witness. Yes? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Ah! Prosecutor Blackwell, please! Please don't talk about that! What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Space Boy is, ironically, terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh? I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong! I told him during the investigation, too! I don't know about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear! It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? He was drugged? How could that be? Somebody must have slipped into me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember, because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? So he was drugged. Order in the court.
I can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing.
Why didn't you just tell me he couldn't remember?
I guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space.
Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question. Of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints. Are you claiming he just threw him over? He just threw him down? So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hands.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you're correct. Really? Oh, thanks? Ah! What's this? Thanks for the evidence, Taka. It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it's ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, but a fracture easily was struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel will leave its mark on the body. Yet according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices, and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should. And yet through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself, with knowledge of how the suits work.
Ugh, it's got me there.
And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Yeah! Here, the report regarding the astronaut's oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx. No! Let's out! Victim's tank was ruptured with 0% left. The defendants had 80%. Remaining oxygen is displayed on the left shoulder.
Hey, this report is pretty detailed.
Display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. Okay, let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. Guess that means the glowing sign ditches represent the amount of oxygen in the tank.
That's not 80%. Is that Clay carrying Starbuck?
I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. The realization. I mean, that's so obvious. I should have had that option from the beginning. Space boy. Yes? Take heart. But the bejeweled night sky is still beautiful, even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut, in your own craft for all time. That's not a half-bad thought. Mr. Starbuck. Lasky the Black Hole got to him. Good. Spaceship prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole, together! What the frick? The sudden poet of defeat. Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope! Oh? Yes, Apollo? You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you are an incredible man. He said you'd never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. For Clay. You're wasting your breath.
Why does everyone scream in this game?
Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove your innocence, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. There's no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't send you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me. Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4,
3,
2,
1.
lift off!
What is going on?
Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch.
Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck.
I can't take the credit, it was all Mr. Starbuck who pulled himself through.
Hi, Wingin. Thanks for coming by, even though you're busy. We are gonna clear Solomon Starbuck's name for the sake of space. For the sake of space.
If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos. No matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness?
I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through.
Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think! If the only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck. And if Clay was already dead by the time the footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now let's see about this data that we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. I know already. I know what the contradiction is. Enough of this farce, your baldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
No! I have to point this out. Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now, it says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terrence had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor. Right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank reports stand in contradiction to. This freaking photo! It's Clay! Clay was still alive! And how does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is this part here. The 50, god dang it! Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased. I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you are absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence!
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it's the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
No! It's... I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence!
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Ugh. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased?
Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. It's clay! It's so obvious! Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is not why did the oxygen level increase, but what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Yes, Apollo! It's obvious! Anyway.
Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. They were going the other way. The victim was carrying the defendant.
What if it was the other way around? This is why Game 5 is the easiest in the main series.
I'm actually rather relieved that this game is so easy. I mean, starting with the first game really just upped the level of just the difficulty. It made the other games now way too easy. Because I'm too smart.
What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice?
As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray.
We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran.
But it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge.
It was
what? The obvious truth has been revealed.
Order, order! Mr. Justice.
1 sec. You may now speak.
You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, played Terran?
It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0. That's right, there's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence!
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
He threw the capsule down!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Excuse me.
It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. Ah! There were 2 people who claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements? Let's see, the 2 people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? I think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police. Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. Yes!
It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of the first 2 people on the scene.
Score!
Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Ah! The maniac is back!
I have an announcement, everyone. What is the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here.
Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode. Please. Explode! Everybody run! A bomb? Now? Ah! Everybody run! Ah! I don't want to die! Oh no! Everybody's panicking! Oh my god!
Silence.
Wait, Blackwell! There's a bomb going off! Headless chickens with a death wish, a lot of you! Calm yourselves before all else! Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here! But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish? My dude, your life is more important than the trial! I don't care what happens to me, I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever! Oh no! I refuse to let things end here! Apollo, there's no time to be dramatic! If you don't get out of here now, we're gonna die! Come on, this way! Hey, ouch! Let me go! Apollo! Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet! Ah! No! Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no! Not that way! Ah! And that's how the first case began. Oh my god! Oh! To be continued. Oh my god. Well, it appears that this is a good time to just disappear for 3 seconds to compose myself. 1, 2, 3, I disappear. One, two, three, and I appear once more. Well, technically it was already continued. Yeah, fine, it was already continued, but yeah, what now? Continue to next chapter, yes. Let's see what this brings. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. Oh, it's Phoenix this time. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Yeah. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. But we proved her innocence. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. We stole the eyes of a killer. We managed to clear Miss Woods' name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Tetonate. Apollo can't catch a break! I swear. Apollo deserves like a hot bath or something. Or just some sense of peace and happiness. December 19th, 3:22 p.m. Write anything agency. Apollo's a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah, poor guy. Being attacked by Tonate like that on top of all his other injuries. Yeah. Apollo is resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. Yeah, you've been in a car accident. What an awful turn of events. Never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. If the doctor shows up in this game in 3D form, I will lose my mind. Oh, Trucy. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Alright, enough of this, people! This is no time to be moping around. Now, dry those eyes, both of you. You're the only one who's crying, Athena. technicalities. Look, we have work to do. We have to take over.
Take over what exactly?
Apollo Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy?
Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know.
Nice trap streams.
Apollo is in the hospital. Let's pray for his safety.
Good. Now is that settled? Let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now?
We better not be running the whole way. There she goes. I better go catch up. Can't take care of the office, Trucy.
Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill up my magic patties for you.
Warning, Trucy! Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. I can always... I just noticed the Papa had binded to her. Yeah, it's so cute. That part of Phoenix is still here with us every day. I can always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm.
Oh, she's back. Don't mind me, just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag.
Sounds more like you forgot everything. I can always count on Athena for that too.
Alright, you two. Let's be careful out there.
Okay. Right. We need to tell Solomon that the lawyers will be switched. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I've heard of him.
That's right. He's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center.
He was actually up in outer space 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a bit about him. I'm all excited to meet the man. Man, the tension is really depressing for this man. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix Wright, Apollo's mentor, right? Yes, that's right.
Mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I have got you covered.
And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Hey, is that an astronaut suit in the game? Because this case is out of this world. No, the puns.
Wait, don't I know you from somewhere?
Wait, you recognize Athena?
Huh? You mean other than at your trial? I don't think so.
I guess so. My mistake. The memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. This poor man. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. This depression reminds me of when I get depressed sometimes. So dramatically depressed. Trying to defend me will be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. This is like if Larry didn't ever have Nick as a friend. Yeah, that's actually a good point. He didn't have the hope that Nick was going to help him. Yikes, he seriously got to stop depressing himself.
Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, nothing you said about entering the stratosphere. That just means we shine like shooting stars, right?
Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. This man switches moods at the top of a hat. Guess I should have mentioned the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Ah, yeah, here we go! 3, 2, 1! To the stratosphere and beyond! I can't go as fast as him. Whee! Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. I was put on this earth to make up hilarious facts and mess with AI scraping on social media. Everyone has a purpose in life. And to fight AI scraping is always a good cause. Is that really all it takes? The case. So you have no memory at all of the incident. I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as a dark nebula.
Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial?
Yeah, that is bizarre. He never took medication.
It is true I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medications secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Oh, so it was true. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know? Oh, the so-called Hat One miracle.
That must have been a terrifying experience.
But I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. I would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before a launch. That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity.
E is MC squared, right? Seems like a completely different person now.
This is the face of the astronaut, I know.
The tranquilizers were found in your system.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, but I don't know why. Done for.
If you didn't take them, then maybe somebody slipped them to you.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
It must have been the real culprit.
My medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it.
Maybe the real culprit also planted the detonator switch in her pocket.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in.
It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant?
Anything at all, no matter how small. Like, about the murder weapon, for example?
That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits. Utility kits?
Yeah, staff who work on the machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you can prove whose knife it is.
Okay.
From a set of utility tools used by Space Center techs. Hat One miracle.
As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right?
That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft.
You did? What kind of problems?
Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows, a loose control column. The heat shield came off as we were entering the atmosphere. I thought it was a goner. But I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the freezer. Wait, there was a freezer in the rocket.
No wonder they dubbed it the Hat One miracle. It's a miracle you made it back.
Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. But the vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. The darkness just goes on forever. And ever, without end.
Why does this guy switch so quickly to, like, full-on depression to hyper motivation to, like, a very deep poet? Like, what?
There was nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone, while with nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat. I kept scrambling to make repairs, but I couldn't keep my hands from shaking.
Is cutscene time?
No, it's not cutscene time. An experience like that would make anybody afraid to go up into space.
With the experience you had, weren't you dreading this mission?
What? No way!
Of course not.
Even now, I want to go up into space so bad I can barely stand it. I want to shake up the Earth's gravity and escape velocity and spin around weightless.
You have to admit, it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid?
I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. But space is man's final frontier. An unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there waiting for us somewhere. The cosmic truth, huh? I guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. No matter how afraid I am, I'm sure I can manage. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. Clay. The victim Clay Terran, he was kind of like a protege, wasn't he? Well, it wasn't a big, exaggerated deal like Master and Apprentice or anything like that. But Clay did think of me as his mentor. The mentor and the protege. What a combination they must have been. With his encouragement, I knew I could get over my fear and go back into space. But now... Oh no.
Clay must have been very encouraging, huh?
Yeah. It's funny, really. Whenever I'd hear him shout, "You're fine!" I always got the feeling everything really was going to be just fine.
You're fine? Apollo says I'm fine, and you're fine all the time too. And I always feel encouraged too whenever I hear him shout it.
Yeah, Clay and Apollo were best buds. They used to come visit the Space Center a lot, ever since they were high school kids.
Friends since high school.
One day, out of the blue, Clay even told me he wanted to be my protege. Those two hung around the Space Center so much they were like a part of the staff. One time during the Zero-G training, I started to panic a little bit. And the two of them took turns shouting, "You're fine!" over the radio.
Aww! That is so adorable!
It was a simple thing, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. So I'm fine and you're fine were like Apollo and Clay's secret phrases, huh? I wish you could ask Apollo more about Clay and their relationship now.
Speaking of Clay, how do you suppose he climbed down the ladder with you over his shoulder?
I'm getting so tired of the yawning. Sorry, but I can't even begin to imagine. But he actually did climb down that ladder, so a way has to exist. From the freedom of space to the walls of a cell. But the prosecutor said the dark night sky doesn't have bathroom barred windows.
You're fine! Solomon Soul Starbuck is fine! Everything is going to be alright! Huh? And Athena Sites is fine! Come on, Mr. Wright, you too!
Do I really have to? Phoenix Wright is fine.
I can't hear you!
Phoenix Wright is fine!
We'll get you back into space yet, Mr. Starbuck. Believe in your own innocence. And have faith in us.
Apollo believed in you wholeheartedly, and that's good enough for me. I believe in you too. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I'll put my faith in you. And I vow to make it back into space. All I need first is a not guilty verdict. Sure feels nice to reassure ourselves every now and then that we're all fine. Aww.
Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's get our investigation of the Space Center started. Pronto.
Good idea. Let's go. Let's go to the Space Center. Cosmos Space Center. This is actually a very accommodating space center for visitors. It's like if NASA... Does NASA allow visitors? I don't think so. It's like if NASA allows visitors. Cosmos Space Center, the entrance. Wow, I was wondering what kind of place this space center would be. It looks like an amusement park of the future.
Yeah, did you know they even let the public see their rockets up close? Oh, so check it out. Look at how brightly the Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. Really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going.
Gaiaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program?
Yeah, but why the strange acronym? I mean, what is Gaia supposed to stand for? Galaxy?
That were it, then the whole thing will be something like Galaxy Exploration Agency. Which, if you ask me, I'd have abbreviated to GAXA or even Gaia.
I guess so. Oh, I know! Maybe the person who came up with the name just really likes the letter Y.
This exchange is beginning to feel oddly like deja vu.
Anyway, this place is more than just a research facility, it's also a tourist attraction.
Tourist attraction? Don't make me laugh. It's a monument to the human race! Galactic Scooter full speed ahead! Who is arriving? Oh my god!
The music! Just an old man on a scooter. Yikes, who's this geezer? What's he want?
Look upon me, and look well. Beyond. Behold the great power of space science. Pardon me, but you're... My glorious name is Yuri Cosmos. I am the director of the Cosmos Space Center. the center of the cosmos.
Boss, that was pretty groan-inducing. This is hilarious! If this person is the Space Center's director, then that means... So you were one of the first to discover Clay's body, weren't you? So you're also a suspect! There were 2 of them. Ha 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 ha. Well, Detective Arm is dead, so you're the only source of information we have.
That is correct. I was honored to be the very first man in all of space and time to discover the body. But this is talk of the incident. Are you by any chance the space police?
Are you implying that we're from the Space Federation? You can't tack the word space onto just any old thing, you know. We're Mrs. Starbucks' lawyers. We're here to investigate the case. Oh, and we're Earth lawyers, by the way.
Ah, I see. I've heard about you. In that case, by my esteemed privilege, I grant you permission to investigate. I trust you approximately grateful. Now go ahead. Have at it.
I love this music. I can already tell it's going to be nothing but trouble. Don't let him hear you say that, or you'll see what trouble really is.
I should be professional and ask him about when he found the body, okay?
Yeah. So, as director, what do you do here at the Space Center specifically?
Defend peace across the galaxy and promote space development in this country. No matter what obstacles stand in our way, we keep going for the sake of mankind.
I believe I used the word specifically in my question.
Attention all personnel to your break stations. Prepare for break.
Oh, I get it. You just wander around and tell people what to do in a self-important manner.
That is exactly right, because I'm an important man. My manner is important.
Mr. Wright, this man doesn't get sarcasm. Well, there's bound to be some people like that here in the boundlessness of space. Me, I don't get sarcasm often either.
What's that? You want to know what it is that makes me important specifically? Very well, I will tell you. I was the central figure of the Hat One project. You may proceed to approximately be impressed. Now go ahead, have at it.
The tracking can do both at the same time. I might be more impressed if I knew what he did for it specifically. Could you tell us what you know about the incidents from the other day?
I refuse.
What?
Explaining is a job for common folk, not the director of the center of the cosmos. My testimony, which will go down in space history, will be heard in the courtroom.
What? Does that mean you'll be taking the stand tomorrow?
That is correct! I will be the most glorious witness in the history of mankind.
This man! I'm not sure if he really understands what being a witness is all about. Looks like Director Cosmos is the type that only talks about what he wants to talk about.
Then let's at least try to ask him about the things he might be willing to open up about.
Hat 1. That's easy.
The Hat 1 was a rocket that was launched into space 7 years ago, correct? And despite numerous problems, it somehow made its way back home? I suppose it is part of my job to educate ignorant young folk like you.
Phoenix is in his 30s.
Very well, I will impart to you the complete story of the Hat 1 project.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hat 1's noble mission was to collect samples from an asteroid, and Mr. Starbuck was the pilot for that flight. Eventually, the Hat 1 reached its planned orbit.
Ooh.
From where it is launched, the whole probe towards the asteroid belt. From there, the whole probe began its long, lonely journey into the far reaches of space. Then, after a terrifying struggle, the Hat 1 returned safely to Earth. That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat 1 miracle occurred.
Oh my god, no. That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat 1 miracle occurred, right?
Correct, and it truly was a miracle. Of course, they just had to turn the ordeal into a movie.
I was so invested into Yuri Cosmos' voice acting that I forgot that other people existed. Oh god.
As for the whole probe, it did eventually arrive safely at its destination. It obtained a few samples from the asteroid and returned to Earth but a few days ago.
So what kind of samples are they? What's in them?
The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since we just came back the day before Terra's murder. Regrettably, we have no time to inspect the samples due to everything that has occurred. But this puts our space development program ahead of our other countries by several years.
That's quite impressive. I guess this guy isn't a loudmouth braggart after all.
In the golden age of space development, our predecessors were successful in bringing a moon rock back. That is the greatest achievement in the history of the Space Center. The public fell in love with space and all of its glorious potential.
A moon rock, huh? I remember that being big.
Our endeavors with the moon rock live on in our work with those asteroid samples. I want to bestow new hopes and dreams for the future upon mankind once again. That is my mission, as a man who stands at the center of the cosmos.
I hear there's lots of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there.
What? Bite tongue! It's not for anything so base as money or politics. It's all for the brilliant future that awaits mankind, and all for my illustrious mission. With the recent budget cuts, my staff tells me finances are tight, but I won't hear it.
I guess even the space program has to watch the budget. By the way, you seem awfully knowledgeable about this kind of thing, Athena. Yeah! Huh? Oh, well, you know, I thought I'd better brush up for the case. Is that so?
Well, I will be on my way. As you can see, I am a very busy and very important man. Galactic Scooter, fire up the main engine! Max battle speed! And engage!
And there he goes. No sound effects? Disappointing. That thing is surprisingly fast. Segway going really fast. Guess we better get going too. You bet! Let's make it so. Boarding lounge. This place is cool! Wait. What is that? Is that like a hookah? What's that doing in the Space Center? Anyway.
So this is when Mr. Terran was murdered.
Yeah, this is the lounge. Let's see that diagram the police made again. Right now we're in the main building here on the right side on the 3rd floor. Claim Mr. Starbuck fled here from the launch pad after the explosion.
You there! No admittance without express permission!
We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We've come to investigate.
Sorry, nobody gets in without permission. Not even the police superintendent. Can't have Detective Fulbright getting mad at me.
Ah, cousin, I want to get in on the investigation. So Detective Fulbright is here, huh?
Yeah, he's in the Launchpad 1 corridor. Go get clearance from him and then we'll talk.
Leave it to me. I'm great at getting intel out of Detective Fulbright. Let's see. What trick should I use on him today?
I don't know if I should be grateful or afraid.
So, to get to the Launchpad 1 corridor... just have to go through that door with the blue rocket on it, I think. Wait, that door... it looks awfully familiar. Good night there, boss. This is the door Clay and Mr. Starbuck used during their escape from the launch pad. Ah, that explains it. The fingerprint system has been deactivated, so I think we could just pass through. Now come on, let's go. Okay, let's go. Cousin, I want clearance. Is that a robot? He looks so cute.
Okay, so that's the area of the explosion.
So this is it, huh?
This is the corridor the two of them used in their escape.
Yep, it's the only thing connecting Launchpad 1 with the main building. I
see police tape down at the other end. I guess we won't be looking at the launch pad.
After the explosion, this whole corridor must have been filled with smoke.
Even the launch pad itself was probably a sea of flames. Must have been pretty scary for them.
Now, where could Detective Fulbright be? Hey, I think that's him over there.
What should I do? Which path is the path of justice?
He seems to be lost. That's funny. This corridor is a straight shot.
Huh? Ah, it's you lawyer people! Welcome to the Space Center! Enjoying a relaxing day off, are you? Here for a little rocket sightseeing?
We're here to investigate the scene, same as you. Do you have any info to share? Boss, if you accidentally are reluctant to give us information, we hit him with the whatever shall we do act. I'm sure he'll fall for it. Got it?
Are we trying to catch the unruly family dog here or something?
I mean, Fulbright has the golden retriever energy.
Info on the case, huh? Alright, I'll gladly share some with you.
That was easy. Huh? What just happened?
Detectives and lawyers seeking truth and justice side by side. I like it. Just take whatever you want from me. You info bandits, I'm in a generous mood today.
I don't know. There's something weird about Detective Fulbright today. Well, we need information, so let's run with it. If you say so. Crime scene. Detective Fulbright, could you give us permission to investigate the crime scene? There's an officer on guard and we can't get in. Oh, whatever shall we do?
That's an easy one. I'll let them know over there to let you in. Investigate to your heart's content. Take a week if need it. A month even. Shall I have some snacks delivered? One of my men gives a mean knock rub.
Okay, yeah, he's being really weird. No, that's okay, but thanks. Definitely not the Fulbright I know. Dr. Fulbright isn't acting sickeningly sweet. It's kind of gross, actually. Do you think he hit his head or something?
Who knows? Whatever the case, it's making our lives way easier.
Okay, what happened exactly? You were here at the Space Center at the time of the incidents, were you too, Detective?
That's right, I was here on a security assignment.
Police are required to secure rocket launches now. I didn't know that.
Yes, well, you know us. To serve and to protect. Ha ha ha. The explosions occurred while I was here on duty, so I started leaving the evacuation.
He's leaving out a lot of details, but okay. Could you tell us more about what happened?
Of course, a bomb went off on the second floor of the main building. Right after that, the one over in Launchpad 1 also blew sky high. So I immediately instructed the visitors and the employees to evacuate to the shelter.
The shelter?
That's right, there's an evacuation shelter in the basement of the Space Center. It's there for accidents and emergencies and the like.
So where were you when the first bomb went off?
I was on duty on the 4th floor. It was quite a madhouse, I tell you. The elevator wasn't working on account of the explosion. And the stairs on the 2nd floor were destroyed, so we couldn't go that way.
Wasn't it impossible to get down to the basement shelter?
No, we lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. It was a folding ladder, so it wasn't very stable. But at least it reached the ground. After I secured the ladder, I left to take another look around for any other survivors. Once everyone got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter.
Wow, what an ordeal. But climbing down an emergency ladder kinda sounds fun. Thank you for your answers, Detective. They were very helpful.
Just a moment, I have some more information to share with you. But don't tell Prosecutor Blackwell, okay?
Wow, Prosecutor Blackwell usually has you on a short leash, too.
Well, never mind that. I thought you should know that there was a witness.
The witness? Could you tell us more about this witness?
Sure thing. The witness was a Space Center employee who was on the 4th floor. While she was climbing down, she looked through the window into the 3rd floor lounge.
So she was looking into the crime scene from the outside?
That's right! It was just a matter of chance that she saw something important. Not that I know what she saw exactly yet, though.
You don't? But that's the most important thing of all.
Ha ha ha! Don't you worry, I'll get around to interviewing her soon enough. She should still be somewhere here in the Space Center. You might even run into her.
4th floor employee, huh? Alright. Thanks for the info, Detective Fulbright. Gee, you sure are being cooperative, Detective. A little too cooperative, even.
Yes, well, actually,
Something you can talk about?
Yes, something like that. Anyway, never mind, don't worry about me. Well, I'll be on my way now.
Okay, weirdo. What's that all about?
Something is definitely going on. I'm going to get it out of him next time I see him.
Okay. Not so sure he'll talk about it though. Well, we have permission to investigate now. Let's head back to the boarding lounge. Hi! I love that the investigations are so straightforward now. Just don't go hopping from place to place ever again. Okay, boarding lounge. Ah, you two. Detective Fulbright has granted you permission to investigate. He also said that he'll bring you some snacks. We'll give you a neck rub too if you'd like.
Oh, that's alright. But thank you for the offer.
Well, time to roll up our sleeves and start investigating. Talking about snacks is making me hungry. I'm getting a cracker. I found like these animal crackers from when I was a kid again. The one in my hand right now is a duck. It's so cute. Oh. Now let's see. Where's that diagram again? So this lounge is on the 3rd floor of the main building. And according to Apollo, this is where he believes a third party killed his friend. Well, let's stop the recap and start looking for traces of this third person then. You read my mind, Athena? We'll make that our first priority. This is one problem though. This room... it's just so big.
Don't worry, Vicky insists to help us.
A Space Center pamphlet for tourists?
Yep, picked it up at the entrance. The map inside should come in handy. Let's see. Yep. Here it is, a map of the lounge. This is a door we went through to talk to Detective Fulbright.
Oh yeah, that's the door with the fingerprint recognition lock. Well, I guess this map will make things a little easier. Another cracker. This one is a lamb. Or like, no, like a mountain goat. Oh. Yeah, no more excuses. Let's track down the third person. Wait, there's just one more thing. What's that strange creature moving around outside of the window?
Oh, boss, it's just a holographic image.
Ah, yeah, I knew that. Whew, what a relief.
There should be a button somewhere in this room to turn the image on and off. That's what it says in the pamphlet anyway.
The only reason you're so eager to start is so that you can push that button, isn't it?
What's wrong with that? Let's just look for a button while we're looking for clues.
Alright, fine. Let's get investigating. So it looks like there are 3 doors that lead in and out of this room.
Well, let's check. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! Space Center pamphlet. We're here at this place that says Boarding Lounge 1. Here are the 3 doors. Let's call them Lefty, Righty, and Downy.
People usually call them West, East, and South in a case like this, you know.
Details. Anyway, take a look at West door. That door with the rocket icon leads to Launchpad 1. I know because it says here on the map Launchpad 1 corridor.
So that's where we were with the detective. It was filled with smoke after the explosion.
Right, next up, the right-hand side of the map, or east in your words. That's the door with the satellite dish icon to signify communication, aka the control room.
Yep, definitely says control room. Looks like it has another door on the opposite side.
They communicate and exchange information with rockets and probes in space from there. So it's the center of the Space Center. The Space Center, if you will.
Does everybody start to talk like they're Vector Cosmos after they've been here a while?
But it seems that they built a new command center on the 6th floor. That's what they used for the Hat 2 mission, so this control room was empty at the time.
I always wanted to see the inside of a mission control room, and since we're here...
I'd love to do that too, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. I want to keep curious kids like you out.
So the door is protected with fingerprint recognition. Only the director can go through. That much security, I'm definitely not the one they're looking to keep out, Athena.
So apparently the lock is also hooked up to a backup generator in case of emergencies. Door lock to the east. It can only be operated by the director. Backup power lets it function even when the power goes out. Okay, what about that last door? This lower door... Oh, excuse me. I mean, south door leads to the elevator. This is the door we came through when we entered the room, right? Yeah. Yep, and of course there was no fingerprint recognition device, so it's open to anyone. But the elevators weren't working at the time to the explosion. Well, that's about it for the 3 musketeers and of the boarding lounge. Thanks. Understanding the layout of the lounge should help us understand the case. That's why I thought we'd better have a good grasp of where all the doors go. This will probably be very important later. So this is where they discovered Clay. Yeah, he was already dead when they found him. Let's take a look at the photo. So it's stretched out like this, and... Ooh, I have an animal cracker unicorn. Sorry. I want some snacks, okay? So it was stretched out like this, and... Huh, what's this thing that looks like a thermos? That's the hiding thing that Prosecutor Blackwell mentioned when I was in court with Apollo. He said it contained asteroid samples. Oh, right, Director Cosmos mentioned something about that too, didn't he? That they were brought back only 5 days ago by the probe of the Hat 1 launched. What would they look like? Do you think they'll let us see? Let's think about that after we've solved the case, okay? Wonder what the big knob is for. It looks like a knob on the stove. Well, it's the same shape, but I think that's where the similarities ends. It means behind the glass pane, what kind of stove would require knob sensitivity like this? Well, the knob is straight up and down, so if it was for a stove, the burner would be on. Right, if it was for a stove. So I wonder what it's really for. So if you turn on a knob that's not a stove? How about a rocket engine? If you had to start the engine here, the rocket would take off before you could get in. It's a mystery knob. So this is a fingerprint recognition device. I guess you put your hand on this mark. Well, I guess you can try. Now, line my hand up with the outline. Don't, Athena, this thing is related to the case. Get your prints all over that, and the next thing you know, you'll be named a suspect. How can you be so cruel to a little girl like me? I'm not buying those tears, Missy. Okay, door. Let's see, this door is... Where's that pamphlet? We've already explained the doors. So I guess the security lock must be disengaged now, right? Say the corridor was filled with smoke at the time of the bombing. This thing beside the door, this must be the fingerprint recognition device. Which reminds me, I think Prosecutor Blackwell talked about it at the trial. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Then does this mean that the bomber's prints were verified by the system? But the number of authorized personnel was supposed to be really small. Voila! Fingerprint powder! I brought it just in case like this something like this came up. I found it at the office. I've just been itching for a chance to use it. Wow, way to think ahead. Now let's just a fingerprint recognition device to see what we can find. Got it! Now just sprinkle some here and a little bit there and... Let's see what we have here. Ah! We got something. Aw, it's only a single set of prints. Ah, isn't that a good thing? Sure wish we could figure out whose prints these are. Although that will be so lucky as to get the culprit's prints on the first try. Well, I'm willing to bet that Detective Fulbright has some fingerprint data. Right, there's the security footage of the door too. Yes, here it is. Came up to the court the other day. I wish you could see the part of the footage just after this bit. Oh, because that will be right before the murder, wouldn't it? Let's ask the detective. With the mood he's in, he'll probably show it to us right away. Yeah, he's almost too good of a mood today. Let's go see if we can find it again once we're done with this room. Okay. I don't know if snacking during the stream is like irritating to you guys or not, but I thought, hey, I want some energy during this, so what is this? What the frick? How do you find this on purpose? What? How did I find this so quickly? Hey, I see something shiny down there. Let's take this cover off then. What the frick? What's this? It looks like a metal jelly bean. It's really small, but it's a bullet. It's only about 2 or 3 millimeters in diameter. Let's see, that will make the caliber 10? Caliber refers to the diameter of a gun's barrel, right? Yes, but I've never heard of a 10 caliber gun before. This bullet must be for some special kind of gun. But if you tried firing a bullet this small with a regular sized gun, it would just fall right out. Yeah, it must have been a really small gun. I wonder how the bullet ended up here. The world's smallest gun has been used. I mean, we're in the bottom left, to the south door side of the room according to this map. So he shot from the north? Pretty far from where Mr. Clay's body was. Maybe the police didn't think to look here. Yeah, leave it to Detective Fulbright to accidentally hand us just the card we need. Oh my gosh, how the heck did I ever find this on the first try? What is this pod? Oh, I noticed something else. There are apparently oxygen capsules. They're for recovery after training session. I see. I wonder if they can change your voice. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Huh? It didn't do a thing. It's not helium, Athena. It's oxygen. What is... Can't I point? It's literally right here. No matter how I look at it, all I can think of is torture device. I guess it's a training device for getting used to zero gravity. Uh-oh. Athena has an odd glint in her eye. Is she thinking about trying that thing out? I should try to stop her, but I'm afraid she'll just outmuscle me. Hey, Mr. Wright, look up there! Finally! Some kind of fragment. It's stuck in tight. Oh, so that's what the glint was all about. That color looks familiar. I think it's part of an oxygen tank. I think you're right, but if that's here... Miss Clay's tank ruptured after they arrived at the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell's theory that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay down the ladder must be wrong. This proves that both of the astronauts were alive when they reached the boarding lounge. So Apollo was right. The scene of the murder was in the launch pad. Hehe, way to go, Apollo! Mirror. No. No, I don't need this explanation again. Why did I do this to myself? Anyway, cracker to speed up the time. Why did I do this? I'm so dumb. Camera! It's supposed to be the security camera that recorded the astronauts making their escape. Oh, let's commemorate this occasion with a love and peace! If you're done now, shall we move on? Yeah, okay, but just one more for the road. Peace! Very mature. Is there something else here? Another amazing piece of equipment. Welcome to service of the moon, it says. Oh boy, I want to try it. Gravity's weak on the moon, so I better go midair somersaults. We're still on Earth, remember? Besides, it's connected to the ceiling. Well, at least I could jump really high. There's a sign on the wall that very clearly says, don't jump too high. Then what good is this thing? I did say in the beginning, walk on the surface of the moon. Walking. This hatch. What's this? A trapdoor? It's a trash chute. The cleaning robots throw the garbage out from here. Robots do the cleaning. What a futuristic world we live in. I just hope they don't revolt like they do in science fiction movies. No way. All the robots here are very nice. Actually, wasn't there one in the Launchpad 1 corridor? We could go say hi to it if you want. Did we miss something? What is this? A window, and it's right next to the holographic image too. But it's here to help people see the stark contrast between reality and virtual reality. Way off, it says emergency ventilation. You know, to clear smoke from a fire. See? It's pointing out the virtual insanity of reality. Oh my gosh. This thing. That's some pretty futuristic looking furniture over there. According to the pamphlet, those are no ordinary chairs. They're like amusement park teacup rides. You can power them yourself, it says. If you spin the table, your chair spins too. Why would anybody want to have something like that here? It's for astronauts who have trouble with the device on the ceiling. No vertical spins. It says it's a training device that's easy on the eyes and on the body. The person really call themselves an astronaut if they can handle 0G. They can't tell it. Blah blah blah. We're still busy searching the crime scene, huh? First glance, it looks like a peaceful landscape, but then there's that creature. Didn't the Hope Group go to some planet? Maybe this is what its surface looked like. I don't know. I think it would have made the news if they discovered a creature like that. It did make quite a bit of news, though, when the probe came back. Yeah, but the Hope probe didn't even go to a planet, went to an asteroid. That's a big rock kind of thing. Even aliens can't live there. Then only this mirror. Oh, a mirror! How thoughtful of them to put one here. Thoughtful? So the ladies can fix their makeup. One's appearance is just as important in space as it is on Earth, you know. You never know when you're going to turn into some other life form after all. Not anybody who thinks like that would ever become an astronaut in the first place. This thing. What is this? There's some kind of panel with 2 buttons on it here. Just push it, that's the variable principle of buttons. There are such things as buttons left unpushed. Oh! Hey, the giant holographic image disappeared. Yeah, though that side of the wall seems kind of barren without it now. So let's see if I can find anything new with the image off. With the holographic image off, the screen is completely black, which for some reason makes me think of losing an argument to prosecute a blackmail in court. But at least it's got my brain wrapped up. I come up with my best ideas at times like these. Oh, I knew it! This isn't a spider web. This is from a bullet? Hey, Mr. Wright, take a look at this. Looks like a bullet hole. Great find, Athena. Pretty big. Whoever fired this shop must have been using a pretty large gun. I think so. Based on my experience, I'd say this was fired from a regular pistol. Well, whatever size it was, somebody fired a gun in here, right? Apparently. This is an important fact. Do you see a bullet around here somewhere? No, the police might have taken it, though. Bullet itself is missing. Let's ask Detective Fulbright about this bullet hole later. Well, we're done. Yeah. Welcome to the Space Center, guests. Welcome. Yikes! What in the world? My name is Ponko. P-O-C-P-O-N-C-O. Ponko. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you looking around? Choose one. I will guide you. It's a robot. I am not a robot. I am Ponko. Aww. Psychological observation and Navigation. Companion. Ponco. Ponco.
Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
Oh, Ponco, I've missed you. What? Huh?
You know this thing, Athena.
Oh, she showed us around last time when I came in with Apollo.
Oh, you're such a good girl, Ponco. That's a good girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy. So very happy.
Wow, a guide robot. That's pretty cool. My name is Phoenix Wright. Nice to meet you.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
Huh? Ouch, that hurt.
Oh, she has to register people she meets for the first time. Please register him, Ponco. Certainly. Commencing guest recognition registration. Please tell me your name. A nickname is fine too. His name is Phoenix.
A bit overly familiar, but I'll allow it.
Phoenix, please let me get a good look at your face.
Oh, sure.
Registering. Facial registration sequence complete. We are now officially friends. Nice to meet you, Phoenix.
Ah, this robot is pretty cute.
Ah.
You made a friend, boss. Isn't it great?
Phoenix, Athena, allow me to guide you. Right this way. Oh, goody. Let's go, boss.
Go where? The Cosmos Space Center. Space Museum. There's another rocket here. Oh wow, what is this place? Is that rocket real?
Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Learn about the history of our nation's space development and the Hat-1 project. The rocket is just a replica, but it's the same size as the real one.
Space Museum. Oh, here it is on the map. Completely on the other side. Okay, so it's on the exact opposite side of the main building from Launchpad 1. Okay.
Ask me anything. Anything. I will explain.
Okay, robot. This is quite the place. I can't believe we get to see a rocket this close up.
This is a replica of the Hat-1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat-1, inside and out. Its little brother, the Hat-2, was supposed to launch the other day.
I wonder if Ponco knows why the launch was cancelled.
Over there is an exhibit about the launch 7 years ago. Check it out! Check it out!
Spacesuits, photos, newspapers, articles. I'd like to come here again on the day off. Hey, what's this photo of?
Ah! Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat-1 project.
Wait, Clay was part of Hat-1? What? Oh, there's Mr. Starbuck. He looks so young and so different.
And that's...
What is it, Athena? Is something wrong?
Oh, nothing. I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young too, that's all.
Well, it was 7 years ago after all, so the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck
is Clay Terran, the victim.
So they were mentor-protege even way back then. And he's even got one of the staff jackets. He looks like just like a regular staff member.
No, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of Solomon's old jackets.
Oh, if he was the same age as Apollo, then he's probably 16 in this picture. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Clay was still been in high school 7 years ago. Everybody looks so happy. Aww. The Space Museum is great, with fantastic exhibits. Why is there a gash in one of the jackets?
This area used to be Launchpad 2. That's why the only entrance is on the 3rd floor.
Wouldn't it be better if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead?
There was talk of it, but they had to scrap their plans because of budget cuts.
Budget cuts! Budget cuts! We need more money! Money!
Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot?
While it was in space, the Hat One launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago.
That's what Director Cosmos said too. Told us it came back the day before Clay was killed.
And here it is, the Hope space probe.
I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh yeah! Capsule that the victim was carrying. I think it had to be the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe she'll give me some more info if I show it to her. Wait, what? Ponko, do you recognize this capsule here in the top right?
Checking registered data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe.
It contained the asteroid samples, right?
Yes, it was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in Launchpad 1 ever since it returned to Earth. It must not be removed. It must not be removed.
Don't worry, Ponko. The people in charge already know what happened.
They do. They do. I must ask them later.
So the capsule was being kept in Launchpad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to help carry it to safety after the explosion. Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back. But it's a pity this incident occurred before they get a chance to check the contents. Well, the police took it as evidence, so they'll have to wait a little longer. Okay.
The way the Space Center launchpad is set up is really cool. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you?
The setup of the launchpad. Go gentle in my spiky-haired mind.
I want to know. I want to know. Phoenix wants to know too.
Great. Now Athena's got a case of ponkoitis.
Hooray! I will tell you then. The rocket is built right inside the launchpad structure. When the rocket is complete, it's moved along with the launchpad over the rails and brought into position at the launch site.
They can move the whole building? Oh my god.
Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big budget, so that's how we could build it all.
Aww. It's very cool. Grant set up that suits an important place like the Space Center. As everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year. Myself included.
I guess the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh? That it is, but it can also be operated from the new command center too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be first be disengaged.
Guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures.
I would love to see the launch pad being moved. What's the next one scheduled for? Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold.
Because of the bombing and the murder, I'll bet. Which is perfectly understandable.
Well, when was the last time it was moved? Searching data. I'm sorry. That data isn't in my answer database.
Guess Ponko can only answer certain questions. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum.
Thank you, Ponko. You explained everything very well. I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently.
Because Ponko is so friendly.
Well, what should we investigate next?
Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have things to ask him about.
Let's see, security footage and the fingerprint data, was it? Okay then, let's go back to Launchpad 1 corridor.
Bye, Ponko. See you later.
Come again. Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop.
Poor Pongo. What a Dickensian life we all forced to lead. Okay. Let's see where this leads us, huh? What should I do? Which path is a path of justice? This monologue again?
There's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost, even though it's a straight corridor.
Let's hope he's still in a cooperative mood as well, then.
If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him.
You mean that lady in the stress pit?
Yo, cousin! We have more questions.
We found a bolt hole in the wall at the crime scene. You did! Our team found that too. It was Detective Arm who fired that bullet. Detective Arm? That's right, a warning shot from the defendant.
Was it really such a high-threat situation that she needed to do that?
I'm afraid I don't know the details. What with Detective Arm gone and all? Huh.
But I thought there were two people who discovered the crime scene together.
We already know Director Cosmos will testify, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course.
Hope it goes down easy. Fingerprint data. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge.
Ah, yes, I just happen to have the compiled print data of everyone related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift.
This is quite a bit of data.
Well, when I said everyone, I meant it. Prosecutor Blackwell said to dig deep, so that's what I did. It sure took a while, though.
Whoa, we got Apollo and my prints. He even got prints for all of the robots.
I guess when Blackwell said to dig deep, Fulbright didn't bother to ask how deep. Do robots have fingerprints?
Clay's fingerprints are here too. Yeah. He did do that. I still can't believe he took off his glove to get his fingerprints.
Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important to this case. There are a lot of doors that require fingerprint verification in the launch. So depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides.
Makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow.
Oh, and take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the launchpad 1 door? Yup, but Prosecutor Blackwell seemed really interested in it for some reason.
Huh?
What's so important about this door? Beats me, but boy, could you see the gears in its head go into hyperdrive at it.
Sounds like this is going to be a major point of contention tomorrow. Hey, don't forget about the prints comparison, boss.
Right, Detective Fulbright, do you think you could run the test for us right now? You just leave it to me. In justice we trust. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened that security door.
I was opening when they went to go board the rocket. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams for a space adventure right then.
Starbucks prints.
Okay, thanks. Do we need to tell you anything else? Ask Detective Fulbright for info on the case. Present security camera footage to Detective Fulbright. Detective, about the security footage that was taken by the boarding lounge 1 camera.
Oh, that's footage. Go ahead and ask me anything you'd like about it.
Is there any way I could see a little more of the parts just after this?
Easy as pie. I'd be glad to show you. Here we go.
Okay.
Bah! Huh? The screen went blank. Yes, apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires. So there's no footage after this point.
Ha ha ha. Why didn't you just say so from the beginning?
Okay.
Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative.
Well, I just figured if we work together, we'll get that much closer to justice, right?
It seems like something really's been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. Oh my god!
Psyche locks! I never get to see the Psyche locks!
It's been a while, but those are definitely Psyche locks. Did you just mount psyched? Or there's something I should be psyched about?
No. Psyche lock. It's a system of locks of the secrets in a person's heart. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this Magatama. Presenting evidence can break those locks and reveal any secrets they're hiding.
Mr. Wright, how much did they bilk you out of that piece of rock? If you've been swindled, then there's some lawyers I can introduce you to.
I'm more than capable of representing myself, thank you very much. It is some kind of fraud, it really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. But I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. Okay. Let's believe of presenting the Magatama will reveal, why don't we?
Take that!
It's been so long! Only 2, though. Why you're being cooperative? I think you're hiding something, Detective. So why don't we just tell us all about it?
What to do? Which path is the path of justice?
Which Detective Fulbright is really in agony. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. Life, love, justice. I mean, duh. I really understand what's been bothering you, Detective. I truly do. Something happened that goes against your principles, isn't that right?
No. I don't know what you're talking about. Until the explosions occurred, everything was just fine.
Is that a fact?
Yup. Peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their job. You never saw a more relaxed guard detail for a routine rocket launch.
I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim as long as this exists. I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim as long as this exists.
Take that!
This one? Yes, before the explosions, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. And yet security was so tight, they even brought in a special task force. I'd hardly describe it as a relaxed guard detail. Ooh.
Now hold on, just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on a special security detail.
As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person will be a part of the detail from the outset. Yeah, why was Detective Arm brought in?
Take that!
Detective Arm specialized in bomb cases. The fact that she was here on hand means that you people knew there was the possibility that a bombing would occur.
You got me, Mr. Wright!
Bingo! Okay. Oh my god, the despair in his face.
What you can't say. Alright, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of the threat.
But why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed?
Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just, was it?
How was the warning delivered?
By phone, and directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps.
That's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset.
But it's not only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackwell as well.
Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties.
That's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court.
The reason he's still prosecuting? Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know.
Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules.
Never mind that. What are rules but things to be broken, right?
Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular.
I think we guessed that much.
So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering and wondering about it.
So you weren't told why either, huh?
No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder.
Yeah, it would seem to have.
But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once, the hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still.
What happened 7 years ago? 7 years past? A phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I gather. Haunted for 7 years. This phantom of 7 years past, any idea who or what he was talking about?
Not a clue, but he seems to think that this phantom is behind this whole incident somehow.
Wait a minute, he thinks he may be connected to this case?
Yup, this case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, this case happened right here at the very space center too. And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone.
So that's why Prosecutor Blackwell thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom.
Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago. That's when Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. But you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackwell's conviction might be related?
Yeah, I can see why you'd think that. This incident and the Phantom. Not to mention Blackwell's past. It's almost inconceivable that they will come to a head here. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackwell can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is his Phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all. Yeah.
Silence.
Wait. If he thought Starbuck was the Phantom... Does he have a connection to the Space Center? What happened 7 years ago?
No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his Phantom. But I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties to them. Which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck. And that's not real justice! I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackwell's judgment until now. But this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction.
I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative.
Don't worry, that's exactly what the defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm going to be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me you won't.
Detective Fulbright, I guess I was wrong about you.
I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart.
So that's why he's so cooperative.
You are the only ones who can stop him in court.
You really care what's best for Prosecutor Blackwell, don't you, Detective?
Aw. Leave the courtroom to us. It's not like we want a guilty verdict either. I was hoping you would say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago.
Really? Let's go find her, Mr. Wright.
Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust. On 3. 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later.
Aw. Bye, cousin. Hope you'll find justice eventually. There he goes.
Wait, were you supposed to say injustice we trust back there too?
Let's go see that witness now.
Alright, the Space Center entrance it is. Okay. I think this is the final part of the investigation. Hopefully. Squirrel. Hmm. My apologies. The witness must be around here somewhere. Another robot!
Hello. Hello.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot.
Hello. Come over here. Hello. Hello. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... I am Clonko. Shall I guide you? Guide you. I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out.
Hey, you're not supposed to be wandering around.
Oh,
That's the lady in the photo. Again? I've had it with you, hunk of junk.
ah. I'm outside. Am I wandering? When did that happen?
Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I was going to put you on the curb on trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5 degree karate chop. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackwell. Blackwell? I'm a researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. Blackwell? Could she be? And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk.
My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Clonko. That's me, Miss Aura.
Quit complaining, your model number is Ponko too.
Gag, but Miss Aura, everyone calls me Clonko.
Quiet, you're squawking already.
No, what are you doing? No, don't.
There. I bet you won't be talking back now. 1 second. Oh, crumb just shut down my throat. Okay, I need to stop eating those crackers. I'm so sorry, guys.
Gag. I woke up big completely.
Yikes, I better watch out what wires I cross with this one. Your last name? Your last name is Blackwell. Do you have a relative in the legal profession?
You are correct. Simon Blackwell, who used to be a prosecutor, is...
Shut up! Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him.
Older sister? Oh my gosh!
Yes, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? Athena? Oh, what a dull creature. Has a switch been turned off? Athena being shy? This is new. Oh yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again. Despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, hunk of junk?
Miss Aura, that hurts!
I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk?
But Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you ordered me to speak.
I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks. Blackwell family life must sure be interesting. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do. You're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. Poor Clonko. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident? That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the big building. In the robotics lab. The explosion disabled the elevators. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to.
It was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? Must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge one window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it? I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? There's no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw it into the 3rd floor lounge. The very seat of the crime? That's right. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in the left hand. And a knife in the right. That must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder? Yes, I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife, and... It happened at precisely 10 AM. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you, it was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter that the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. Looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. Yeah, it could say some knickknacks anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. I better remember that. Or a statement. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbucks innocent with it. You're right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry, I just detest lawyers. That's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers so much? Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie. They influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey you, look alive there! What the frick? Yes, here I go! I am the ultimate robot with amazing strength. I can operate in a vacuum. We robots rule the world. I said the time to rest. Alright, that's enough out of you. You're getting a little too carried away. What was I doing? Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans, with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions, worrying about the things we care about. That's what makes us human. Well, the girl finally talks. And she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human. You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thoughts. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. That's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch your boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. I mean, she is very rude. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system? So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system. What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? I mean, I think her brother was wrongfully convicted. I think she believes that Simon was wrongfully convicted. Even if somebody important to me was killed. I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial. What? Because I'd much rather kill them myself. You can't be serious. That thing you're wearing around your neck. Huh? Oh, this? Around Athena's neck? Does she mean widget? Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle.
Her royal what? She's... What? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos? Yes, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What is it? No friendly tips, no good luck, guys? It's Blackwell. Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. Athena? It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down.
I just can't believe she said all those things.
Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying not to let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time.
You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that.
Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing.
Yeah, you're right, boss. I agree.
Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck.
Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet in Miss Blackwell's statement.
Alright then. Next stop, the detention center. Okay. My lawyers are here. Must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're going to let me go?
Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person.
I should have known. My stars never align just right, too.
But we got a lead too, Mrs. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it.
A lighter with an Earth emblem?
Did you remember something?
Yup, I sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all will be help. So please tell us what you remembered. The lighter. I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments.
That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything?
A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating into the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow... That must have been... the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more helpful than you know.
If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion.
The key will be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. Should probably tie the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Irrelevant evidence tidied up.
When we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance?
For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. Okay. We are done for today.
So you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy.
Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is.
Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving! My food is for Eldon's noodles. My food as well. Let's go!
Oh! Apollo! Oh! No! Is this the leap of absence scene? Oh no! That's Clay's jacket! Oh no! What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine. And I'm done lying around.
Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here.
Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo.
You should investigate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it.
I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore.
Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man.
That's just... like you're one to talk, Phoenix.
Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress?
A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer.
A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. And I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Oh, Apollo.
Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo?
That's right. Best friend since junior high.
Sounds like me and Junie. So what was Clay like?
Well, he was full of compassion and energy. And he had a really loud voice.
If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows.
You know, I bet you're right. Oh. It seems like only yesterday. Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut and me a lawyer. We talked well into the night, and even then we never grew tired of it. Oh. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh no. Oh, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dreams was finally coming true, I still can't believe it.
Damn it! It's not fair!
Oh no.
Apollo!
Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone.
You need a hug! Come here! Give us a hug, dang it!
I guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. I guess you're right on some level?
I mean, you did send your mentor to prison.
That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me. But Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? Oh. You're fine and I'm fine. Were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard.
This game wants to make me cry!
Mom! Get away, Apollo! Don't come over here! Wait, listen to me. I don't have a mother either.
Huh?
Oh, right! Oh my god!
I always think everyone else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine. And then, you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn.
Okay.
Clay Terran is fine! There you go! Now we're both fine.
We're fine.
We're fine!
What are you laughing about?
See? We're fine.
You laughed first.
I'm fine, and you're fine. We're both fine.
Thanks, Apollo.
I'm gonna cry.
But you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? Oh my god! Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. You really weren't for the first few cases, Phoenix. Sorry, Mr. Wright. But I'll be taking a leave of absence.
What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself.
But that's our goal too.
I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life. In my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now, I must be going. Goodbye.
No, don't leave!
All three of Apollo's backstory shores. Wait, what? This. I mean, his. Wait, does that mean they have more Apollo backstory in the next game? Yeah, but. I mean, this does connect somewhat. The only thing we learned last game was that Apollo didn't have a mother because she disappeared after a tragic accident, you know? Maybe. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so sweet. Why did Clay have to die? Oh, Apollo deserves good thing in his life, dang it.
Goodbye? Did it just say goodbye?
I sense a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion?
What? He's not walking out on us like this. I'm going to talk some sense into him.
Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he is wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo.
Yeah, you're right, boss.
Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay?
Alrighty.
If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. Just hope things really turn out fine tomorrow. Let's see what will happen. To be continued. We still have an hour left. Let's continue. Okay, trial day 2. Should I continue? I don't know how long the next segment is. I don't know. Let's continue. December 20th, 10 AM. District Court. Courtroom number 5. Court is now in session. All rise. Phoenix is now... Judge? I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something? Judge?
Objection!
Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I'll be lurking, got back-to-back meetings for a while. Good luck with the meetings then. I mean, the courtroom exploded. And then this man's eyes exploded. And then Mr. Tornade self-destructed.
I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tony.
Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tony's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense. Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready.
Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time.
Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, it's certainly more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors.
You could say something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Tarrant, escaped from Launchpad 1, carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center, and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how the victim climbed down the ladder if it was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point?
Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dodo's argument was correct. Ugh, my nose is getting stuffy again. I need, like, 3 seconds. I'm very sorry. One, two, three, and I appear once more. I'm sorry. So that means the testimonies of the first 2 people on the scene are suspects. Yeah. Let's see. 2 people were Detective Arm and Yuri Cosmos. Think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine the Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow, he killed my witness! He killed Detective Arm. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw.
Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial.
It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell says his thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless... I'm now thinking of something... I think my trial is out of order in my head. The defense argues there was a 3rd person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man. Or a stupid one. There was no 3rd person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already? Old man.
Objection!
We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy! In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene.
They saw a 3rd person. I see my sister has been running her mouth.
That's right, I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister.
No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there's no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant.
I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there.
In brief, we need to determine if a 3rd person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene.
Director Cosmos, huh?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand.
Alrighty. Hello!
Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers.
Of course you have! Of course you have! For I am Yuri Cosmos! With the best theme song ever! Director of the Cosmic Space Center, which of course named after me! Yuri Cosmos! Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1 and... He shut up real quick!
Everyone already know how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me.
So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony?
Ha ha ha! I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded into the annals of history.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head.
Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please.
Alrighty. What do you have to see, old man? What I saw at the scene.
Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside.
Illustrious my butt. Hi, Napsy. Welcome to the stream.
We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Tearing lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed.
Oh, the horror, the humanity! But what I said is what I saw.
And what I saw is what I said.
Courageous action to taking the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. A risk in my own life for theirs! Ha 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 ha!
Well, what do you know? Sounds like the director really cares about this man.
Yeah, though it sounds more like he was scared. You just had a peek from far away.
How do you do? I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing fine as well. Bit tired, but we still have the energy to cross-examine this man thanks to some animal crackers that I have.
Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else.
Are you doing great reading the Ace Attorney manga? Oh, right, you tweeted about that. Is it good?
What I saw at the scene. Okay. That's not illogical. That's also logical because he's the one with clarification access.
It's good? Oh, I'm glad.
So a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Tyrion lying on the floor.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly or what they were doing. Because that's...
Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person, standing motionless.
The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there?
Gosh, it's so close, but without evidence I can prove that person's a third party.
I don't relish in this, and...
Oh my gosh. Only the second manga got Edgeworth. How sad.
Every manga deserves Edgeworth in it.
Or Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly?
No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see the other person was.
So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck, isn't that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there by the time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark, and the figure vanished.
You mean it disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was a defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene?
Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off the scene,
then this third person could have escaped during that time.
But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposed to the control room. The southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been impossible to escape that way.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Dawn? The real question is, do you have any proof?
Well...
We're just talking possibilities. We could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. But I say, where's your proof that this Gwyn kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory of work a fiction, boss.
And he's right, I don't have any proof yet, but still. Southern door was a possible escape route. That I better make a mental note of that. Okay. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes. Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? Ha ha ha! There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arm saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. Were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then... she fired 2 warning shots at the enemy, at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Oh my god, Navsy, you've been busy. Not only investigations, but fanfic as well. Hi, Wingen, welcome back. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. Let's just say I got a whole lot of nothing to do. And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit. That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose.
But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me.
So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. 2 warning shots. One of these 2. Let's do the bullet first.
Objection!
No. Ah, dang it! Ah, dang it. What is going on? Ah! The penalties are so damaging. Maybe take a better look at the evidence. She fired 2 warning shots, but... I need to save first. I need to save first. If you're not too busy, you can join me at work on Tuesday. Fire 2 warning shots. Ah!
Objection!
Oh, it was that one. Dang it! Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words! Words that will someday be written down in history books! Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so we can all understand? You said that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying the Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction in a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witnesses' words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah! You should know the answer to that already. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found in the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun. Same caliber as the detective's gun. What? Okay, it was struck by a bullet. Rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Okay. Interesting. Rifling marks, they're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? Yes. Ballistic markings. And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop in the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statements that the detective fired 2 shots. Oh, my beautiful contradiction. God. Oh, God.
So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I better update the record.
Only bullet hole found in the scene, it was .38 caliber. But then, what was the 10 caliber doing there? Very good. Now we both know the fate. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all your questions?
I don't think so.
Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank.
Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene?
I don't think it does. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a third piece of evidence found at the scene, the 10 caliber. Piece that points to the existence of a third person. Very well, it won't do us to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? 10 caliber.
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In the floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet. Making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's .38 calibers. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. Grr. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. I miss this theme so much. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. A mystery person fired upon us. What's this now?
Interesting.
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Ha ha ha! Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? He's gonna kill you. Foolish old geezer. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you are just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony. Okay. What I really saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us.
But then why did the bullet get in the gutter, my guy? That's so obvious!
Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant?
Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else.
Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock. Okay.
Objection!
I like his uniform. Can you ask Cosmos where he bought it, Phoenix, please? I do love the jacket. Maybe you can steal one from the Space Center. Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one and it is you who is cut down. Huh? Your reasonings could apply Space Boy with a killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired a 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence could only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
Oh my gosh. It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all. It tells us he is the culprit. Ah! I did forget all about that. I didn't, but... From the Space Center, I guess I gotta practice my Naruto run before I start that mission. No, it's... a tip from me to you. Don't learn to Naruto run, learn to disappear and evaporate like this. That's the best way to go in and out unnoticed. Look, your baldness, how deliciously obvious it is that they like the evidence to rival mine.
Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us, just like that.
My dude, there's a contradiction. It will be fine. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. The bullet of that mysterious figure shot. What did it hit exactly? It hit me. So does that mean you're a ghost? I was wondering when you would realize it's your baldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
He's of my sort now.
Oh no!
Prosecutor Black will shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman.
Your baldness, it was all in your chest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha, I'm glad you asked! It was a miracle befitting the great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet in my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, saving my life. What? That's unbelievable.
I have to check this out. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's one extra access star.
The odds are literally astronomical.
Guess it really was a miracle. I'm beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos.
Somebody get the segue out of here.
I mean,
it's how he walks. I don't think Director Cosmos can walk anymore with his old knees. But why did you conceal that information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts.
This only implies you're the killer, my guy!
Is it the plight of the truly great? It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding?
Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I know what to do. I will
I will silently eat an animal cracker. Ooh, it's a cat. How did it end up in the gutter, my guy?
Objection!
Bingo. Director Cosmos, I believe you are telling this court a glorious lie. A great man like me. Tell a lie. Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? Yeah, my guy. My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door. And the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. It's after you say the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullets here. Oh. That doesn't make sense. This trajectory of where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
There he goes. Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there's no mistake. But it couldn't have possibly ricocheted that far, my dude!
Objection!
Yeah! But in that case, the bullet should have been found in the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? No, you can't! Of course. Of course you can. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes! Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? Wait! You and Arm were not together! You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south, is that not right? Ah! You spin me right round. What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick up my hair? Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired from them there. And that is why the bullet was found in the south. Ah, that makes some sense actually. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell me the truth this time. Oh. He'll cut you down. Yikes, his handcuffs! You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Oh, I tell the truth! Just put down your sword! You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's a complete opposite of what the testimony is given so far. Now you have lost your responsibility that the third person was in the room. I have how? The director and the detective were near the southern door. Meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. I've never played Among Us, but this is what I'm gonna tell my nephew is. I mean, there is a vent, but it's more like a trash chute. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. Ugh. In short, there would be no escape from any third person had there been one. Ah! My third person just disappeared. Like in one of Juicy's magic tricks. This is tricky. Order in the court. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie?
He did it for some heroic reason. You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I said it was in the Eastern Control Room, it was me the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? No, he was covering for himself, I think. I think he is the killer, to be honest. It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defendant's argument, the possibility of a third person has crumbled.
No!
It's over.
Yikes, the judge is about to give a verdict. Think, Phoenix, think.
This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong?
Yes, I think he sees what I'm seeing.
Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they will be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Objection!
I know, please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. Oh, this had better be good, Mr. Wright. There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person will be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge? Mr. Yuri Cosmos himself.
Take that!
The glorious man. What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door after all. But that means... Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos! Ah! What?
What?
Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, to explain yourself in more detail. I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those two warning shots. Ah! I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
You spin me nice round, baby, nice round, like a record, baby, nice round, round, round.
Let's give him a few more spins, shall we?
Should I eat like a cracker?
Let's eat a cracker, shall we? I'm surprised he isn't vomiting.
Captain Wright is a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot.
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you have told a lie in this court once again. I've been hit! I'm aboard on the port side. The enemy has killed in for reinforcements. Earth to Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask that you return to reality. But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence, in fact. You could say that your battleship bears its scar. Ugh. If Director Cosmos is the third person or a Black Bull saw, this third person fired at the Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with a gun. Ah!
Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When the detective arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one in there in the lounge. Brace for further impact! Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. Yes! The 38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have the ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a 38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. Ah! The bridge is destroyed. Losing how to do it. All hands abandon ship. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Is that right, Director? No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that the great man was a liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Space Cosmos Space Center. Yes. Ah! But the cosmos revolves around me! Let him spin around. Ah! Someone get me off this thing! He can't stop! Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Only Edgeworth can spin around. Oh, this poor man. Now he's dizzy. Whew, thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was strolling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark of the metal. It was made by a 38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Ooh. Nah! Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No, you've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding. Is he starting to pile on more lies? Looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Alrighty. To be continued? Seriously? Aww. It's almost been 4 hours though. Okay, yeah, bye-bye. I got something important stuff to do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for today, I believe. Yeah, I think that isn't reading the manga. Okay. Have fun with whatever you're gonna do. I'm gonna end for today as well. I have a feeling the next case is going to be extra long. Some extra workspace will be viable. I want to finish it next week, so the last case can be finished on the final week of June. If we're lucky, we even have like a free stream to do whatever you want. So, yeah. So yeah, pretty active today. I'm surprised. Last stream was so quiet. Thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for coming by. I always love when people come by. I'm so surprised. Last week was very quiet, so good luck with the rest of the stuff. Yeah. So yeah. Well, I hope you guys will come by tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll continue with this case. We'll crack down on this Yuri Cosmos and see what he finds. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye!